In part 2 of our Mad T-shirt series, we are going to be focusing on another two of the elements, time and tempo and rhythm. All of the elements are to do with how the music is organised. It can be really helpful to think about music as a graph, with pitch on the y-axis and time on the x-axis. The notes go along in time like this. In part 1, we looked at melody and how melodies are played with articulation. Today we are going to look at the things that are to do with time, counting beats in a bar, tempo and rhythm. What do we mean by beats in a bar? We're talking here about how the pulse is divided up, or what number we're counting up to with the music. A lot of the time we're counting up to 4, although other common numbers for this are 3 and 2. If we're counting up to 4, we would say there are 4 beats in a bar. The time signature is the symbol at the beginning of the piece of music with 2 numbers, one above the other. It tells us what we're counting up to. In other words, how many beats there are in a bar. It's the top number that tells us how many beats are in a bar. The bottom number tells us what kind of beats they are. We don't need to go into that just now, so just remember that the top number is the important one because it tells you what number to count up to. When you see music written down, you have the time signature at the beginning and then the notes are organised into bars. Here there are 4 beats in every bar, so there is a bar line in the music after every 4 beats, just to break it up visually and make it easier to read. Tempo is an Italian word meaning time. It's really simple to understand, it's just how fast or how slow the music is going. There are lots of other Italian words to describe specific tempos, which you can see here. You may know some of these already, but don't worry about these for now, just remember that tempo means fast and slow. Sometimes in music, the tempo changes. Accelerando, as you might guess from its similarity to the word accelerate, means speeding up. Rallentando is the opposite. It's slowing down. Rhythm is one of the most commonly misspelt musical words. Here is a mnemonic to help you spell it correctly. Rhythm has your 2 hips moving. Notice that there are 2 H's and no E's. So what is rhythm? Rhythm is just a combination of long and short notes. We call the length of a note its duration. So we can have short notes and long notes. Even or uneven rhythms are when the notes are all the same length, in which case they're even, or if the notes are not all the same length, in which case they're uneven. Dotted rhythms are a very specific type of uneven rhythm which alternates long and short notes. Why are they called dotted notes? It's to do with how they are written. The longer notes have a dot after them to show that they are to be played longer. The short notes come on the and of beats 2 and 4. Here is a piece that you might recognise that is based on dotted rhythms. Triplet rhythms are when you squeeze 3 notes into the time it would normally take to play 2. Here's an example you might recognise. This is the pulse. In the first line here we have 2 notes per beat. Keeblesworth and Bannockburn and Grattan, Daffy, Dale and Qstoke. Then it goes into triplets and we have 3 notes per beat. This is how this bit sounds. Kernborough, Banningham, Sellerhead, Bedlinog. So instead of going along doo-dah, 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 the triplets go doppity, 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 doppity. It's easy to spot triplets because of the little number 3 above the notes. Syncopation means notes that are off the beat. So if we're playing on the beat, we're playing in time with the counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we're playing off the beat, we're playing in between the counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We would say here the rhythm is syncopated. We often talk about things happening on specific beats of the bar. You're used to finding the one in your lessons and clapping or clicking on different numbers. Here is a very simple drum beat, like the ones we've been practicing with our chair drumming. The kick drum is playing on beats 1 and 3. The snare is playing on 2 and 4. We call this the backbeat. If you're clapping along to a piece of music, you'll be doing it on the backbeat. The hi-hat here is playing on every half beat. If we want to talk about a specific syncopated beat, one that comes off the beat, we'd say something like, it's on the and of 3. Rests are just silences in the music. Here we're playing on 1 and 3, so there are rests on 2 and 4. A rest symbol is a squiggle, a bit like a lightning bolt. So if we wrote down this rhythm using notation, it would look like this, with notes on 1 and 3 and rests on 2 and 4. In part 1, we looked at melodic ostinatos, where you have a little melody that repeats. So it's not surprising that a rhythmic ostinato is where you have a little rhythm that repeats. Here is a simple and very famous rhythmic ostinato written down. Can you tell what song it's from before you hear it? Yes, it's We Will Rock You.